Howdy everyone, this is Trisha and welcome to my channel. So today I decided to make some mini keto donuts. These are little donuts that I make for myself and I find them to be a great little treat whenever I want something sweet. I also make these for my dad and he enjoys them very much. So I want to show you how I do them. I pretty much follow a recipe that already exists, but I add a couple of little ingredients just to change it up. And I'll go ahead and put the recipe in the description box below with the nutritional information that I have for that specific recipe. Okay, so let's get to baking. All right, since the recipe is going to be in the description box, instead of me mentioning all the ingredients right now and telling you the measurements, I'm just going to tell you what they are and the measurements as I go along. The first thing I want to do is I want to separate two eggs. I want to separate the yolks and the whites, but also I want to soften some cream cheese. Now I've not let it sit out here for hours to soften it, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it in a little bowl and put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds. Alright, so I've had my cream cheese in the microwave for 30 seconds and it's gotten a little bit soft. I'm going to go ahead and leave it out here because we have to whip some egg whites. So I'm going to separate 2 eggs. Get all the egg whites in here. Okay, so now I'm just going to put the egg yolks aside. We are going to be using those, and I'm going to whip these egg whites for 5 minutes. Now you can put them in your stand mixer if you want and just walk away and do whatever you need to do, or just use a hand mixer like I'm going to do. Okay, so now my egg whites are all nice and whipped. It's been 5 minutes I've been doing this. I can go ahead and whip them up a little bit more before I actually add them into my batter. So for now, this is good and I'm going to set it aside. Add a little bit on the counter, put that right in there. Okay, so in this big bowl, I softened the 8 ounces of cream cheese that I had. So let me use this. Get that in there. And I'm going to use my hand mixer to soften it up a little bit more. And that's all it took. So now we want to add some dry ingredients to this. All right, everyone, I have to be looking at my little recipe here on my phone. So we're going to use half a cup of almond flour. Let me use this little one to scoop it out. Okay, we're going to sprinkle that all over our cream cheese. And then we want a 1/4 cup of, it asks for egg white protein. I couldn't find egg white protein. I probably would if I looked like on Amazon or something. So instead, what I have been using, I've been using protein powder, and I've actually been using the vanilla flavored one. So like if you want to make some chocolate ones, you can use a chocolate flavored one or a strawberry flavored one. Okay, this asks for 1/4 cup. 1/4 cup of that. All right, so now we need 2 tablespoons of coconut flour, and I have that right here. Now, if you can't find any of these ingredients in your grocer, you can definitely find them on Amazon. And no, I'm not getting paid by Amazon. I don't have a sponsor with them, nope. Okay, so these ingredients I've already used, so they're going off to the side. Let's see what else we need to put in here. We're going to be using a 1/4 cup of swerve sweetener. And this is my choice because my father is diabetic and this works really good for him. This is a diabetic friendly on here. It is keto friendly. And also it is gluten-free, bakes like sugar, non-glycemic, tummy friendly, tastes like sugar, measures like sugar, all of that. Okay, so that would be half a cup of that. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 tablespoons. I don't know why I thought, you know, half a cup. 2 tablespoons of swerve. And I also get the brown sugar one, by the way. And I still haven't used that one. Maybe I should substitute it in this. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and go with this. There's that. Okay, now let's see what else we need to add to this. Okay, so we need a 1/4 tablespoon of some salt. And this pretty much measures that, but I'll go ahead and use my little measuring spoons. All right, you guys, I made a big old mistake. And the reason that I did it, and I know why, is because I'm used to making big old batches of this, not only for us to save and freeze them, but also to send over to my dad. But I was just going to make one batch, and I miscalculated some things. The cream cheese, I normally use the whole 8 ounces, but the recipe only calls for 2 ounces. And I'm not sure about the swerve, but I want to say one more time, it's a 1/4 cup of swerve, okay? And then I think I measured out something else incorrectly. No, that was it. The cream cheese was measured incorrectly. So what I had to do is I had to adjust my recipe. So instead of 2 ounces of cream cheese, I had to quadruple because I have 8 ounces in there. So I quadrupled everything. So whatever I added in there, I added 3 more times. So that would be 4 times. Everything in my recipe. So the other ingredient, and I'm going to say it for the one batch, but again, if you see a big old load here, is because I'm doing 4 batches, okay? So for one batch of these little mini donuts, and I think it makes like 24 or 32. I can't remember exactly, you guys, how much one does. I know that 4 makes a whole ton. Okay, so, but we'll know at the end of this. Okay, so I needed 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and I've already added, you know, for 3 batches, so for my 4th one. So you're gonna see me adding 2 teaspoons, but I actually added 8 because it's 4 times. So again, I'm gonna have the recipe at the bottom of the in the description box at the bottom of the video, so everything will be in there. Okay, so we've got all these ingredients in there. We're just going to mix them in and get them to blend with the cream cheese that's under there. You could use your hand mixer if you want, which is what I wanted to do, but I don't want all this stuff flying everywhere. So we're going to do it like this, nice and slowly and carefully. Okay, so the other ingredient is going to be some vanilla extract. Now, I like to add a little bit of orange extract. So I've got that right here, pure orange extract. And it occurred to me that some lemon extract would be nice. So I do have a lemon, but it's just juice. And I don't know if how that's going to affect it. It might be too watery. I'm not really sure. So in order not to mess anything up, I'm going to tell you, you can use lemon extract instead of the orange. But I do also use the zest from the orange. And I don't have an orange, so I'm going to use the zest from a lemon. And that's why I have this lemon out here. That's something that I add to the recipe that originally it doesn't have. But I just decided that I make these with just the vanilla extract. And I felt like it needed something else, something a little more flavor. And the orange extract added just what I needed. Okay, so now let's see how much extract I need. So it says a teaspoon of vanilla extract. That's what the recipe calls for. You're going to see me quadruple it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do half and half. I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of the vanilla and 2 teaspoons of the orange. So when you're doing it, if you want to substitute the orange for the vanilla, that's fine. Or what you could do is what I do is I go ahead and add half and half, or add 1 and half of the other, whatever. Just add a little bit extra, because you know sometimes you're pouring in vanilla extract and a little extra goes in there. Well, that's what I do with the orange. Okay, so let's see again. One more time. 1, 2 of the vanilla, so I don't get lost. 1 teaspoon for you for the one batch. And I'm going to do 2, that's half, there we go, of the orange. I take a little whiff of that. It tastes just like if you had zested an orange. Or it smells like, I'm sorry. I think that's a taste. Okay, so we'll put that in there. All right, let's see what else we need. So we need half a cup of almond milk. Thankfully, I just bought some more almond milk because I know that what I have in the carton that I pulled out is not enough to do 4 times. So for me, I'm gonna have to do 2 cups, right? Yes, because it's half a cup of unsweetened almond milk. Unfortunately, I don't have unsweetened almond milk. I just have regular almond milk. I'm gonna go ahead and use that anyway. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to measure 2 cups of that. So let me see what I've got in the 1 carton that I pulled out. Okay, again, the recipe is half a cup. Okay, so I've added my almond milk and I'm just going to slowly mix it in. And then I can go ahead and use my hand mixer to get it all nicely blended, because then what I want to do is I want to fold in the egg whites. Now, I'm going to have to quadruple that as well. So I made sure that I did have enough eggs, because otherwise this video would have been probably not useful, or I would have had to do it some other day. But I still have to beat the egg whites to complete my actual recipe mix here. Okay, so let me get our hand mixer in here, blend this up, and then I'll go ahead and do the other egg whites, and I'll be back with that so we can carefully fold that in to our batter. Let me show you what it's looking like right now. This is what it looks like. It's not watery or anything like that. All right. Okay, so I'm back after adjusting my recipe to 4 times as much, and I've gone ahead and I've beaten those egg whites. So the recipe calls for 2 eggs separated. So the yolks that you put aside, we're now going to add to our batter here and mix that in. You could put that in, you know, right before the milk. It doesn't matter which way you do this. If you want to do all your dry ingredients in one bowl and then your wet ingredients in another, you can do that and then mix everything together. Okay, I think that's good enough. And I'm going to go ahead and add the egg whites now. So let me shake these off. Get all that nice batter off of them. Okay, now we're going to use our little spatula here. And I'm going to add a bit of the egg whites, fold them in, and then do the other half. Okay, so after folding this in and just making a big old mess all around on my counter here, I just want to show you what it looks like here. There you go. Can you see that? All right. So again, just keep in mind this is 4 times the recipe. So you're going to see a lot of it here in my bowl. Folding it a little bit more. I'm trying to make sure that I get all the way to the bottom because I did not do that. So let me do that now and mix it in. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit more of the folding. Okay, but we don't want to like over mix it. So let's push this over to the side. Now I've got these 2 baking sheets, and on here I have a silicone mini donut mold. I don't know if I mentioned that at the beginning of the video that I'm going to be using that. Now you could use like a regular size donut mold, and if you have that, I do want to suggest that you use silicone. It works really great for this, but I still spray it, by the way. Now I tried using a non-stick, like a tin mini cupcake pan, which I bought specifically to make my little donuts, but they just weren't popping out right. And the reason for that is because, you know, this is almond flour and coconut flour, and it just doesn't stick like regular flour that has gluten. That's the elastic. That's what makes everything stick really well. So when I tried popping them up, they were just breaking all over the place. So I decided to try ordering silicone, and it works great. But I still go ahead and I spray it. I don't know if you don't need to spray silicone, but I do, and I'm just using some coconut oil to spray them. And really I should just spray right inside a little, you know, the little donut indentations rather than all over the place. Okay, I think it's better this way because I don't get so much in there. But anyway, I just sprayed that. And then I'm going to be using a little mini scoop, like a little cookie scoop thing, to scoop up a little bit. And then I use my little spatula to kind of help it if it doesn't all come out when I squeeze it. Or if you have a spoon and you don't have this and you want to put it on there. What you want to do is you just want to make sure that it gets just to the level or just a little bit under. You don't need to go anywhere higher than that, and it'll be perfectly filled. So we're gonna go ahead and fill these up. I have my oven at 350, and it just told me right now that it is now ready. So I can go ahead and put my first batch. And this is going to be, how many is this? This is 12, this is 24 here that I'm making, okay? So you can get an idea. And we'll know how many I ended up making, and then we'll half or quarter that. That's what you'll actually be making if you just do one batch. Okay, so let me go ahead, give us a little bit more of a fold before these egg whites start to get like watery, because they start getting all watery. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and fill these up, and I'm just gonna push them down like that with my spatula, just separate where that little, you know, the little center part is going up. It's like a little bundt pan, little mini bundt pans here, the donut shape here. Okay, so it's taking about that much, which is about a tablespoon. I was gonna say something and I forgot what it was. Okay, I remember what it is. Okay, so you might want to take your batter and do like separate batches. I'm gonna go ahead and do all of these in this particular flavor, and I was gonna taste it to make sure it had enough orange. Oh yes, I can taste it. Okay, so if it didn't, I would have just adjust that or add a little bit of extra vanilla or whatever your extract you're adding, if you're adding lemon. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to, even if you're just doing the one batch amount, you want to divide it into two. That way you can take one of them, and if you want, you could either add unsweetened chocolate chips, or you could add some blueberries in there. So, but what I would do is put them in here first, and then add the little chocolate chips and the little, maybe 2 or 3 blueberries in each one, just so you can have, you know, a little bit of a different flavor, or a little variety with your little donuts. So that's what I'm going to do once I get to the other batches. I have some chocolate chips, and I'm going to see if we have any blueberries. My husband always has blueberries for his breakfast, his oatmeal, but I don't know if he's already out or not, or I'll see what he has, if he has anything. Okay, so I'm going to fill these two up, and I'll be back. Okay, so I filled up 24 of these, and I'm taking my little spatula and just kind of pushing down. And also what I do with the little spatula is if I put too much, I can just dig some out. And then like on the edges here, just clean them up with your spatula. My mouth is watering, you guys. So I don't know, I was saying spatula and it came out kind of funny. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Just take out a little bit on some of these that I feel like I poured a little too much, and then just making sure that that little center bit is clear, so we actually get some donuts. and it rises a little bit. I don't remember now, you guys. I made these, but I don't remember because I make big batches, and then by the time I want to bake some more, I forget. Okay, so like I said, you don't want to overfill this, so just remove, even them out. So that's what I have, and then tap them on the counter. I've already done that to that other one, although one of these looks a little bit, I don't know. Okay, so I also have a large donut silicone that I thought I would use. It makes 6 donuts, which is what I bought originally, and I kind of wanted to do that, but I want to see how many I actually get, because I don't recall how many little mini donuts I get. Okay, so, but in the larger ones, the batter amount is either double or 2.5 the amount of this. So these are about 1 gram carbohydrates. So obviously the bigger donut would be 2.5. So just keep that in mind. Okay, these are great little treats to pop in your mouth. Okay, so I'm gonna put these in the oven. They're gonna bake, I think, 10 minutes. Let me check my recipe here. I can do this quick enough. Let's see. Bake for 15 minutes, you guys. See, I'm glad I looked. So 15 minutes, and I'm thinking about my keto flatbread. So I'm gonna put them in the oven, 15 minutes. We'll come back and look at them, and then we'll see, let them cool off, and then we'll pop them out and see how they look. And I'm gonna continue making these little bits, and like I said, I'm gonna put some little chocolate chips in some, and some, if I have blueberries, we'll go ahead and put those in there. Otherwise, we'll skip that, okay? All right, so I have pulled out these two from the oven now, and I'm just going to remove them from the hot tray so it'll help them cool off a little bit better. I'm actually going to reuse the parchment paper a little bit more. Now this is hot, the silicone is hot, so be careful. All right, so this is what they're looking like. Now you could have them in, this was a 15-minute, but you could have them in the oven for a little bit longer to get them a little more golden brown. But this is actually going to be the bottom. And we're gonna add a little bit of a glaze to them. I'm gonna see if I can pop one out right now without it breaking on me. There we go. So this is what the little mini donut looks like. It is so pretty. Look at that. Oh my gosh. It smells delicious because of that orange extract. So I think that makes a really big difference when you're making these. Okay, so I'm gonna let these cool off just a little bit more. I'm gonna pop them out so I can go ahead and start filling this up again. Now the batter that I had in the bowl, I put it in the refrigerator, so each time I take it out and I pour a little bit more, I'm gonna put it back in the fridge. But I'm gonna continue baking more of these, you guys. I'm gonna make some with little chocolate chips next time. Okay, so I just wanted to come back before I actually put in another 2 batches or another 2 dozens of my little mini donuts in the oven. Here's what they look like. I've already popped them all out. They look really nice and really pretty. They smell delicious. I filled up another 24. And I still got about half the batter here, or a little bit more than half the batter. So I'm pretty sure that the recipe that I'm going to put down at the bottom is going to make you 24 of these little mini donuts. Now, if you're using the larger mold, you might get 12 or you might just get 9 of them, okay? So just so you can keep that in mind. Now, I didn't have any, excuse me, my mouth is watering. I didn't have any blueberries, but I do have these Lily's dark chocolate baking chips. They don't have any sugar added to them. So these are wonderful. So I'm gonna add some in there. I'm just gonna throw a few in there, like that. And then I'll just push them in a moment with my little spatula. All right, so I've been adding little chips to these here, these 2 little batches, and I'm just pushing them down with my spatula. That way I can see if any of the batter, like if there's a little excess of it, I can pull some out, because once I push the little chips in there, it pushes up the batter. And I don't want them, you know, the donut to bake outward like that. I want them to have this pretty little round shape right here. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish these up, stick them in the oven, 15 minutes, and we'll be back. All right, so these are now baked, the ones that I added the chocolate chips to. So I'm gonna let these cool off before I can pop them out, so I can go ahead and fill in these silicone mini donut molds and make some more donuts. All right, so while those little donuts are now cooling off, I'm actually going to make a little glaze for these little donuts. I'm gonna make a vanilla flavored. So I'm gonna be using a powdered, like a powdered sugar. This is actually erythritol, and it is like this, like a powder. It gets a little hard, so you just have to break it up or sift it a little bit, but this is what it looks like. And then I'm gonna be using a little bit of heavy cream, and I'm gonna be using some vanilla, okay? So I've also got here lemon extract, or sorry, a lemon so I can zest a little bit. I keep having that extract in my mind that I need. But anyway, I'm gonna get some of this lemon zest from this lemon. And I also have some unsweetened shredded coconut here. And this I'm gonna use to sprinkle on top, just to make the donuts look a little bit more special. I also have some cocoa powder here. This is also an unsweetened cocoa powder that I purchased that is keto friendly, that I can also put in the icing to make it a chocolatey icing instead of just a, you know, just a plain vanilla. So let me go ahead and just do that. And I don't really measure, but I will put in the description box a recipe. And I think I have 4 glazes that you can follow, and just change them up as you want. So I'm just gonna break this up while I have it in here. And I'm going to take, let me see, let's take a tablespoon size here. I'm going to make a little bit for now. So let me break this up a little more. I probably should just, well yeah, let me go ahead and do two tablespoons of this. Okay? So 2 tablespoons of my erythritol, that's how it's spelled. And I found that on Amazon, you guys, so it's hard to find. Okay, so I'm going to add about a tablespoon, so basically half of what I just added of the sugar. And you could just use like coconut milk instead if you want to use that. But just kind of watch it because of the consistency. So here I'm going to mix this and I'm going to see how this comes out. As you can see, it doesn't make very much. But I'm doing a little tiny batch at a time rather than doing a big old batch, because this way I can flavor it different ways. And I can also, sorry, there was a hair coming off of me somewhere and I can feel it on my hands. Okay, so I'm just going to push this off the little whisk here, and I'm actually going to add a little bit more of the heavy cream because look how that looks so far. I want to be able to dunk my little donuts in there. So you want to add this a little bit at a time till you get it to the consistency that's just going to be right. Now this is basically me making this up as I go along, okay? But this is what I did the last time instead of following the actual little recipes that I found. Okay, so this is looking a little bit better. Look at that. Okay, so now I want to add a little bit of vanilla. So I'm going to add about half a teaspoon, or you could add less, a little bit less, but you can just kind of, like I said, sometimes you get a little bit extra in there. You can just kind of decide that on your own. Oh, I don't remember which is the lid to my, this is the one for my vanilla, but I got some milk in there, so. Okay, so I'm gonna mix, oh my God, that smells so good. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. And it's just, look at that. And it thickens up a little bit. If you put your donuts in the fridge, this will dry on there and it'll be perfect. So please make just one batch. Don't do 4 like I mistakenly did, because then, it's hard to store these while they're drying. So look at that. Look how pretty that looks. I just dunked it a little bit, and that gives it a nice little coat. Shaking off the excess. You just want that much on there. You don't want too much, because this is actually kind of sweet, and the little donut has such a good flavor. Sometimes you just want to eat them plain and not add anything to that. So there we go. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this unsweetened coconut, sprinkle on top, and that'll balance out really well with this little icing, because like I said, it's really sweet, so don't worry about the coconut not being sweet. Okay, so normally I like to get orange zest. I don't have any, so I'm going to use a little bit of this lemon zest. Actually, I'm going to just do it right on top of the little donuts and just get some of that on there. And let me tell you, that orange zest is, when I add that on there, it's perfect. So I'm hoping this lemon zest will be perfect as well. Oh, that looks so pretty. Okay, let me just show you one close up. This is what the little mini donut is looking like. Look how pretty that is. You can get some little sprinkles if you want to put that on there. If you don't find unsweetened ones, that are keto friendly, if you want to add a few just regular ones, it's not going to harm. So it's not going to be much actual sugar in there. So you want to try that, go right ahead. All right, I'm going to make a few more just like this, and then I'm just going to make some with just plain. And then the ones that I have with the chocolate chip, I'm actually going to add, I'm going to do the same thing that I did here, but I'm going to add some cocoa powder, and then of course I'm going to adjust the heavy cream according to, how it's coming out. But look, see, it's not very thick, but it's not too thin. But see how that drips? So that's what you want. All right, you want to be able to dunk that and have that stick onto your little donut. All right, everyone, I have finished making all my little mini donuts. I ended up with just over 8 dozen of them. So we're just gonna say 8, and so a batch of what I'm gonna put in the recipe in the description box below will make you 2 dozen. So 24 little donuts you're gonna get at least with the recipe that I'm gonna give you. So I think that's pretty good. Now I went ahead and like you saw me do, I did the little donuts with the vanilla flavored icing first, and then I added the unsweetened coconut and lemon zest, and then I did some that just have the icing and the lemon zest, no coconut. My husband doesn't like coconut, so he won't eat these. And then these over here just have the icing. They don't have any zest on them. These all have chocolate icing. What I did is the same exact recipe that I was doing for this plain vanilla icing. I added 2 tablespoons of the cocoa powder, and then I just adjusted the heavy cream just so that it would make it so that it was, you know, dippable. You know, my donuts could actually be dipped in there. And then I just shaved a little bit of some chocolate that I happen to have, a unsweetened dark chocolate that I happen to have. I didn't get to finish because I wanted to hurry up and get the rest of them out, and they've sort of kind of cooled off. They're not quite cool here. My husband's actually attacked some of them, but I assure you there was 8 dozen here. All right, everyone, I hope that you enjoy my recipe for these little mini keto donuts and that you will try them. Even if you're not on a keto diet, it's not a bad idea to try them. You're going to lower your carbs. You can enjoy your snack a little bit better, feel good about yourself. These will make great little snacks even to take to work if you're having to go to work, or even for the kids for school, or any other needs you might have. Take it to someone who can't have, you know, too much sugar, or they can't have carbs. This is just a nice thing to do for someone else, if not for yourself. All right, everyone, I'm gonna give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up and just do 1 batch as the recipe provides. Don't do 4 times like what I did unless you want to be in the kitchen all afternoon. I am super hungry, you guys. So I'm just going to ask you, because I'm super hungry, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you have, thank you very, very much. So if you haven't, hit that red subscribe button, and then you get a little bell. Hit that little bell. That's to notify you of when I put up videos, which is twice a week. Please, please, please give me a like. Leave a nice comment down below. Share on your social medias. My cats are making a... They're distracting me, you guys. Share on your social medias. Be kind, be respectful, spread the love. And as always, I can't pick this up, you guys. I have it on my marble slate here. So anyway, enjoy.